There are some matchups that belong in history, and there are others that belong in imagination. Muhammad Ali versus Clint Eastwood belongs in the second category. There is no documented real fight between these two legendary men. Ali was a world champion boxer, while Eastwood was a Hollywood actor and filmmaker. But imagine for a moment that Hollywood created the ultimate crossover and placed these two completely different personalities in the same room, facing each other under the bright lights. One man was known for making opponents nervous before the bell even rang. The other became famous for playing characters who could make an entire room fall silent with a single look. Muhammad Ali, Clint Eastwood, two legends, two personalities, two completely different definitions of toughness. And if they had ever been placed into a fictional confrontation, the story would begin long before anyone threw a punch. The room would already be tense. There would be cameras everywhere. The audience would be waiting. Ali would walk in with that unmistakable confidence. He wouldn't need an introduction. He would know exactly who he was. He had spent his entire life turning confidence into an art form. Ali wasn't the kind of man who quietly entered a room and waited for someone else to notice him. He made the room notice him. He smiled, he joked, he talked, he challenged. He predicted victories before they happened. And sometimes, he even gave his opponents nicknames just to make them feel smaller. But across the room would be Clint Eastwood. Eastwood wouldn't need to compete for attention. He would simply sit there, calm, still, watching. That silence would immediately create a strange contrast. Ali might look at him and smile. "Clint, you always this quiet?" Eastwood would slowly look toward him. "I don't talk much." Ali would laugh. "That's your problem." The audience would laugh. Eastwood wouldn't. And that would only make Ali more entertained. Because Ali understood something about people. He knew how to get a reaction. He knew that fighting wasn't only physical. Sometimes the battle started inside the mind. If you could make your opponent angry, nervous, frustrated, or impatient, you had already gained an advantage. Ali had used that psychological ability throughout his career. He understood showmanship. He understood pressure. He understood the importance of controlling the atmosphere before the fight even began. And now, standing across from him was a man whose entire screen persona seemed designed to resist exactly that kind of pressure. Clint Eastwood's famous tough guy characters rarely needed to shout. They didn't need long speeches. They didn't need to prove they were dangerous. Their calmness was the warning. And Ali would probably find that fascinating. Because Ali loved talking to people who talked back. Eastwood wouldn't give him much. Ali would move closer. "You know, Clint, I think you're scared." Eastwood would stare at him. "No." Ali would grin. "That's all you got? That's all you need." The audience would erupt. Ali would shake his head. "Now I like you." And that would be the beginning of the imaginary showdown. But if we take the fantasy seriously for a moment, there is one thing that has to be made absolutely clear. A real boxing match between the two would not be an even contest. Muhammad Ali was a professional heavyweight boxer. He trained for years to fight elite opponents. He competed at the highest level of the sport. He understood distance, timing, combinations, defense, footwork, conditioning, and the psychological side of boxing better than almost anyone of his generation. Clint Eastwood was not a professional boxer. His toughness came from a different world. He was an actor, a filmmaker, a Hollywood icon. His famous characters were fictional creations designed to represent strength, discipline, and danger. So in a real boxing ring, Ali would have the enormous advantage. But this isn't a story about a realistic boxing match. It's a story about what would happen if two completely different legends were placed into the same fictional universe. And that's where things become interesting. Imagine the lights going down. The crowd becomes quiet. Ali enters first. He doesn't look nervous. He looks excited. He starts moving from side to side, light on his feet, relaxed, smiling. He looks toward Eastwood. Eastwood walks in slowly. No dramatic movement, no unnecessary gestures. Just that famous calm expression. Ali looks at him and starts laughing. "Man, you walk like you're already in a movie." Eastwood responds, "Maybe I am." Ali shakes his head. "You better hope it's a comedy." The crowd explodes. The imaginary referee calls them toward the center. Ali is still smiling. Eastwood remains serious. The referee gives them the instructions. Ali nods, Eastwood nods, then they separate. For a moment, everything is silent, and then the bell rings. Ali immediately starts moving, not rushing, not attacking recklessly, just moving. His feet are constantly changing position. Eastwood watches. Ali throws a quick jab. Eastwood reacts, another jab. Ali pulls back. He smiles. Too slow. Eastwood doesn't respond. Ali circles again. This is where the difference becomes obvious. Ali is comfortable moving. He wants distance, he wants rhythm, he wants his opponent to chase him. He knows that if Eastwood gets frustrated and starts rushing forward, mistakes will appear. Ali would be waiting for exactly that. But Eastwood's fictional character wouldn't rush. He would continue watching, and that would make Ali curious. Ali might throw another combination. A quick jab, another. Then a sudden movement to the side. Eastwood turns. Ali smiles. "You still watching?" Eastwood answers. "Always." Ali laughs. "Good answer." The crowd is enjoying every second, but beneath the entertainment, Ali is already demonstrating something important. He controls the pace. He decides when the action starts. He decides when it stops. He decides how much distance exists between them. That's what elite boxing experience gives you. It's not simply about throwing punches, it's about understanding space, understanding timing, understanding what the other person wants to do before they do it. Ali was a master of that. And Eastwood, in this fictional scenario, would represent the opposite philosophy. Don't chase, don't panic, don't react emotionally, wait, watch, stay patient. That philosophy might work beautifully in a movie, but boxing is different. Eventually, the opponent has to engage. And once that happens, Ali's experience becomes overwhelming. Ali begins increasing the speed. The imaginary audience gets louder. His punches come faster. Not wild punches, controlled punches. He moves in and out. He makes Eastwood turn. Then he disappears to the side again. Ali laughs. "Come on, Clint." Eastwood remains calm. But now the fictional scene changes. The crowd starts realizing that Eastwood isn't trying to beat Ali at his own game. He's trying to wait him out. And suddenly, Ali stops moving. For the first time, he stands directly in front of Eastwood. The audience becomes quiet. Ali looks at him. Eastwood looks back. Ali says, "You wanted me to stop moving?" Eastwood says, "I wanted to see if you could." Ali smiles. Then he moves again. And the crowd erupts. That's the essence of Ali. Confidence, speed, showmanship, but also intelligence. The greatest misconception about Muhammad Ali is that he was simply a loud personality. He wasn't. Behind the jokes and predictions was an incredibly intelligent fighter. He understood his opponents, he understood their habits, he understood their weaknesses. He understood how to make them fight the fight he wanted. That's why imagining him against a fictional Clint Eastwood is so entertaining. Eastwood's biggest advantage would be his mental composure. Ali's biggest advantage would be his ability to control everything else. The pace, the distance, the rhythm, the pressure, the audience. Even the opponent's emotions. Imagine Eastwood finally stepping forward. Ali immediately backs away. Eastwood advances, Ali circles. Eastwood advances again. Ali smiles. "You chasing me now?" Eastwood says, "Eventually you'll have to stop." Ali laughs. That's what they all say. And then Ali suddenly turns serious. His smile disappears, his posture changes, the audience notices. This is no longer the entertainer. This is the fighter. Ali moves forward, one punch, another, then another. Eastwood tries to react. Ali's already gone. The sequence is over almost as quickly as it began. Ali returns to his relaxed stance. Then he smiles again. See? The audience erupts. This is what made Ali special. Could switch between entertainment and intensity in an instant. He could make an opponent believe the fight was playful. Then suddenly remind them that they were standing in front of a world-class heavyweight. But if Hollywood wanted to make this fictional story even more dramatic, it wouldn't end there. The imaginary confrontation would continue. Eastwood refuses to back down. He stands his ground. Ali continues moving. The crowd starts chanting. Ali's name fills the room. Eastwood looks toward the audience, then back at Ali. Ali notices. "You hear that?" Eastwood says, "I hear them." Ali grins. "They're here for me." Eastwood responds, "They're here for the fight." Ali laughs. "Fair enough." For a moment, the two men almost seem to respect each other, because despite their differences, there is something they share. Both built careers around discipline, both understood performance, both understood the power of an audience. Both became larger than the professions that made them famous. Ali became more than a boxer. Eastwood became more than an actor. They became cultural icons. And that's why this imaginary matchup works so well. It's not really about asking whether an actor could beat a heavyweight champion. He couldn't realistically. It's about imagining what happens when two completely different versions of confidence collide. Ali's confidence was explosive. Eastwood's was restrained. Ali would tell you exactly what he was thinking. Eastwood would make you wonder what he was thinking. Ali would fill the silence. Eastwood would use the silence. And if this were a Hollywood movie, the final confrontation would probably happen under a single spotlight. The audience would disappear into darkness. Only Ali and Eastwood would remain visible. Ali takes one step forward. Eastwood doesn't move. Ali smiles. "Last chance." Eastwood looks at him. "Your move." Ali shakes his head. "You really don't know when to quit talking." Eastwood replies, "Neither do you." Ali laughs. Then the bell rings. Ali moves. Fast, a blur of motion. Eastwood tries to follow, but Ali is already behind the imaginary line of danger. Ali stops, looks back, and says the one thing that would perfectly summarize the entire fictional encounter. "You can't hit what you can't catch." The crowd explodes. The camera pulls backward, the lights begin fading, and the story ends. Not with a knockout, not with one man humiliating the other, but with two legends standing in the same imaginary arena. Muhammad Ali, the man who turned boxing into theater. Clint Eastwood, the man who turned silence into intimidation. Two icons, two completely different worlds, and one fight that never actually happened. Because history never gave us Muhammad Ali versus Clint Eastwood, there was no official boxing match, no secret championship bout, no documented Hollywood showdown, but perhaps that's exactly why the idea remains so fascinating. Real history gave us enough footage of Ali to understand what made him extraordinary, and Hollywood gave us enough of Eastwood to understand why his characters became symbols of toughness. Put those two images together, and the imagination does the rest. Ali would probably talk. Eastwood would probably stare. Ali would move. Eastwood would wait. Ali would try to get inside his head. Eastwood would try not to reveal anything. And eventually, the audience would realize that they weren't watching a normal fight. They were watching two different definitions of a legend. Muhammad Ali proved his toughness in the real world, against real professional fighters under real pressure. Clint Eastwood created some of cinema's most memorable tough characters, giving audiences an image of strength that lasted for decades. Neither man needed the other to become legendary. Ali already had his ring. Eastwood already had his screen. And although their fictional fight never happened, imagining it gives us something almost as entertaining as the real thing. A clash between speed and stillness, noise and silence, confidence and mystery. The greatest boxer of his generation against one of Hollywood's most iconic tough guy figures. And perhaps the most interesting part isn't who would win. It's what would happen before the first punch was ever thrown. Because if Muhammad Ali walked into a room with Clint Eastwood, you can almost guarantee one thing: it wouldn't stay quiet for long.